Dean is an old buddy of mine. We go back a long time. Since before we had a deal working out together, I bought them. I didn't go seeking out endorsements. I just bought the strings because they were great strings. And we've worked for, decades, at least over 20 years. Everybody has a different type of string that they like. Always been great for me. They've been consistent, dependable, and all the good stuff. I'm doing this for Dean because I like him so much, and because, number one, but number two, because when he told me, he said, I've got a new string, it's called Helix. And I went, yeah, okay, great. But I just thought it was yet another version of another string. And I tried them, and I went, wait a minute, these are really good strings. And I ended up using them for I was doing a rehearsal all day long for a show I was doing in St. Louis with Pat Travers and Mark Farner and Derek St. Holmes, and we were doing like this. Pat's band would back all of us up, so I ran through a whole day of sweaty hot rehearsal, and the next day I just didn't have time to change them, and it was like one of those realizations that came, that just hit me like an epiphany. Wait a minute. This is the same string that I have, that I used yesterday, and normally I beat them up for a day like that, and they're like kind of like suspect the next day, and they were just as tight and clean sounding the next day as they were, from one full sweaty rehearsal, and I couldn't believe it, and they even lasted another day, and so I started really questioning what it was. Now I'm not a technical spokesman, even though I know exactly what he's doing with the string, specifically and technically. I'm just talking from a standpoint of guitar players need to know about this string, not because of the way it's compression wound and all this kind of thing, which is fantastic. But most guitar players aren't going to know exactly what's going on with it. They will know when they try the string that it sounds incredible and it lasts a long time and it has a sheen to it that is beautiful and just very easy to play. And I'm only talking about the wound strings because a plain string is a plain string, but it's the winding of the three wound strings that has that glistening edge that just stays where it's supposed to be. Plain is plain. I'm lucky that I don't have a pretty out of balance pH with my hands, so that a lot of guys will, have like sweat and it looks like they've been dipped in salt water, after like one play. I don't have that problem, but I have a couple of friends who've tried them, and even that, when they sweat a lot and play, the strings still stay good. So watch this. How'd I do, Dean?
We're gonna keep that.
You have to, yeah.
Here's that
Is this good, Dean? I love you, buddy.
Oh,
yeah. Awesome. No, he is an old buddy, and he just happens to make a great string.